Dan's supper looks a bit runny, but hopefully it'll fill him up. We're going to have banana and custard for dessert. He needs a spoon, but he says he's already got one. Slim pickings, folks.
Let's give this a go. Let's give it a go. Let's try the gravy first.
I hope it's all right for you.
Lovely.
I'll put some more chicken stock cube in there for
Tastes
you.
really nice. Let's try the spud.
Welcome to day 22, folks. It's the afternoon now. What a day. I was in pain during the night. My left side was really sore. I hadn't taken any pharmaceutical at all before I'd gone to bed. I can't knock that last one off quite yet. I ended up getting up at 3 o'clock, fumbling around in the dark to find my meds. And then I went back to sleep, but I'm feeling tired. I'm going to have a lie down in a bit. Then I made a chilli for supper later. And I'll show you what I used. And you'll see what I've used from the pantry. I made that this morning, because I do like it to absorb all those lovely spices during the day. To marinade, the flavours intensify. And I was in a hurry to get out. I went to the railway station, used my senior rail card to get my discounted ticket into Broadstairs, only to find that down on the platform that particular train had been cancelled. So back up the platform in the rain, waited for the bus. The bus is now stopping in Broadstairs again. Got the bus. So that was extra I had to shell out for. And then did a little bit of shopping and went to my Tai Chi and Qigong class. On the way back there was a train, although it was delayed slightly. And the cats have all fed now, and it's after 2 p.m. and I've just got my lunch. It's a lovely lunch, though only simple. Some free wholemeal bread from the food bank and community shop, with a little bit of that Too Good To Go salad that we had last weekend. The lettuce is still going strong. And I had a little bit of salad cream with that. I'm having some soup as well. So I'm going to eat my lunch and then we'll talk about where we are with the budget. Well, we're at the start of week 4 today, and we have 9 days of this challenge left. We're finishing it on Saturday the 31st of January, so we'll be going into a week 5, but not a whole week, and I'll make adjustments accordingly. Well, as you know, I used a number of items from the store cupboard and also 1 or 2 other bits and pieces from the freezer. I'm not going to break it down here. I want to try and keep this video a bit shorter than last week's. So we have £2.10 as of last night. So I wanted to take account of the cheese that we've been eating. It's almost all gone now, and the last bit is a little bit on the manky side, although I should be able to use it up before it goes mouldy. We had a £2 block of Collier's cheese from Home Bargains, which cost £2. We bought this before New Year. The pack size was 350 grams. I weighed what we had left last night, and also taking into account the bit that we had on New Year's Day. And I worked out that we'd had in the rough ballpark figure of 225 grams, so that's £1.28. I also weighed the butter. We've still got that pack of Graham's butter. We still haven't finished it. We used 76 grams of it this last week, so that's 60p. So we're up to £1.88. So if you subtract £1.88 from £2.10, you get 22 pence credit. So adding the 22 pence to our usual weekly allowance of £12.76, we have £12.98 to spend in week 4. Now, I've used a couple of bits from the store cupboard already. So I'd soaked overnight 100 grams of organic dried Mexican beans. They are £3.4 for a 500 gram pack at today's prices, so that's 60 pence. I soaked them overnight and cooked them this morning. We've also used half a can of pulper tomatoes. I didn't know whether I had any tins of those left. We had 6 for £4 on an Ocado special, but we did. So it's about 66 pence per can, and we've used half a can of those tomatoes so far. Well, I'm going to go for 34 pence actually, because to be perfectly accurate, the cans cost 66.6 pence each. And Dan messaged me to say he's managed to get half a dozen free range eggs from the food bank and community store, so that's another £1.35. Therefore, those 3 items come to £2.29. So if you subtract £2.29 from £12.98, you get £10.69. And we also have 1 or 2 other items, and I'll show you what they are now. First of all, these carrots were 44 pence with my co-op card. It was only a saving of a penny. And this Greek style natural yoghurt, I checked the dairy code, it's Castle Dairies, which is Bovo free. That was 95 pence, so that's £1.39. Then I went to the greengrocer and bought this big garlic clove. That was 80 pence. 80 pence for a garlic clove. That's outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. For the cats, I bought some chicken thighs. These were from the Chef and Butcher. They are £6.50 per kilo on the chicken thighs. And I've got 658 grams of those. And that cost me £4.28. Now, Dan and I may use a couple of these. I might make him a chicken stew or a thick broth. So I'll just put those in the fridge for now. I'll be sous videing the cat food this weekend. And then depending on what amount we use of the cat's food, I will charge that out accordingly. So at the moment, we're only looking at these. And this comes to £2.19. So far we're down to £8.50 credit. I'll be using some rice tonight, so I'll charge that out. And Dan's planning on getting another Aldi Too Good To Go box tomorrow night. Fingers crossed. We also need some onions. We have no potatoes, but I may just wing it and do without. We do have some sweet potato fries in the freezer, and we do have some chips, so we may make use of those instead. Because let's face it, folks, potatoes are not cheap either. Unless we get some reduced price, I don't think it's going to happen. But the onions are essential. So there we go. We're down to £8.50. So let's see how we get on with that. I'm tired and achy and I'm going to have a lie down now. So I'll catch up with you later. Well, it's Friday evening now. Dan was back nice and early from work. It's dark, it's been raining, it's windy, it's miserable. The chilli just needs reheating. It's a 3-bean Mexican chilli. I'm going to do rice. Not a massive portion. I'm going to do about 100 grams of this. Now this is beautiful rice. I got this from Approved Foods and it was only £1.99 because it's past its best before, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with it at all. Because it's white rice, you can keep white rice stored in a jar for 20 or 30 years even. This won't last 20 or 30 years. This is organic and wildlife friendly. There's 500 grams here for £1.99, so we're using a 40p portion. I'm going to weigh 100 grams of it. Give that a go, babe. Let me know what you think. Nice. It's nice to be able to have some yoghurt. I've really missed having yoghurt.
Right, let's try it out. That's really nice.
Is it good?
Bit of rice, delayed heat. That's lovely.
Excellent. Enjoy it, babe. Well, this is the end of day 22, folks. And we will see you tomorrow for day 23. It's been a busy day, but I have had a rest this afternoon. And Dan's really happy with his mixed bean chilli. The rice has turned out well. And it's a nice chilli. It's got a bit of a kick to it. I use extra hot chilli powder, 1 teaspoon of, and it's got a little bit of a kick. And I'm just so grateful to have some Greek natural yogurt again in my diet, because normally it's something I have most days on my normal budget. Anyway, we've survived yet another day, so we'll see what tomorrow brings.
This is nice.
Well, welcome to day 23 of this challenge, which ends a week today. Thank goodness. Oh. Anyway, we've been out and about a bit this morning, so we've just grabbed and gone. We did a car boot sale down at Broadstairs St Peter's. It was okay in the church hall, but not as busy as usual. I don't think people have very much money at the moment. I went in the co-op. There's a big co-op opposite the church hall, and I paid 95 pence for 3 onions. The onions were essential, but I'm thinking, my goodness, how things have gone up in price. I could have probably got a much bigger bag from the farm shop, but we're nowhere near the farm shop today. That also involves a bit of a drive. This afternoon, I'm going to try and take it easy, have a rest. I've got to price up some items for my pitch at the Petticoat Lane Emporium, which is 6 Oxford Street. And I'm going to make a broth. Now this one is the same method as the one I made last week, so I'm not going to repeat any filming of that. We're using some soup mix. Now it's a dried soup mix, we've had it in a while. It's been soaking overnight and now I'm cooking it off. This will be for dinner tomorrow night. I normally, as does Dan, celebrate Burns night. In fact, it's my brother's birthday tomorrow, so you can probably guess what his name is. But this year there's no haggis or even a veggie version for me. So I'm doing a broth, and that's the best I can do on the current budget. We're doing okay. Dan's ordered a Too Good To Go bag or box from Aldi, so you can join us this evening to unbag or unbox it. So I'll see you in a while. I'm going to have my lunch now, which is the last of the celery soup. I guess whatever soup is left from tomorrow night's supper, Dan will be able to take to work in his food flask. Happy days. Risk of blowing the budget. This afternoon Dan managed to get some potatoes from the food bank and community shop, and they cost £1. We've ordered a Too Good To Go, which should be collected this evening. Hopefully that will help to get us through the week, but we are perilously close to busting our budget before Thursday night. I think we're going to go over, but let's see by how much. Hopefully not too much. In light of this, we could be eating soup for the next few nights in various guises to save money. But as I said, let's see how we go. Tonight's supper is homemade chips, egg, and the other half can of baked beans. It's been a bit of a mixed day. We've been busy, but then had some rest as well. For supper tonight, we've got egg, beans and chips. We've had this several times, haven't we, folks? Bread and butter. But it is what it is. We have tried the broth. There's enough of it to feed an army. And because the budget is so terribly tight, and I think I'm going to go over, that we might be having it in various guises for at least part of the coming week. And I wouldn't be surprised if we have eggs and bubble and squeak as well a time or two. But we'll see later what is in the Too Good To Go box or bag. It may enable us to vary things a little more. We'll just wait and see, but that's the contingency plan anyway. Well, Dan has returned with the Too Good To Go box from Aldi, so let's have a look. Having a quick sneak peek at it, it looks like we've got a really good box here. The first thing I noticed was these sugar snap peas. I mean, we're really short of vegetables, so that's tremendous. Also some piccolato tomatoes, very nice. We still have some of the little gem lettuces left, and it looks like we've got some more. Oh look, it's an iceberg. I mean, the outside leaves a little bit manky, but we'll take it out of its wrapper and put it in another bag, and that will be just fine. Excellent. So we've got salad this week for lunches. We've got 2 big old bunches of celery sticks. These are the posh short ones. That'll keep us going. I think there might be another celery soup on the horizon, which is good because I was kind of moaning that I hadn't even got much soup for Dan this week. I've got some bone broth still in the freezer, but that's it. Then we've got some carrots. Well, I bought a bag of carrots the other day. I could have probably not bothered, but you know, you just don't know what you're going to get. There's a lot of carrots actually, so that'll actually probably carry us into the last couple of days. And then we've got a tater, 1 little potato. Excellent. The potato will probably go with a bunch of the celery into soup. It's a good natural thickener. And then we've got a pear. This is a bit hard, but left out in the salad bowl, it'll be okay in a few days. And there's a Granny Smith apple here as well. So these can probably be poached. That might make a nice compote for breakfast. Certainly with some of these, there's a massive punnet there of nectarines. So I'm thinking already compote. We've got 1 pot of yoghurt. We're going to have a little bit of it for breakfast tomorrow. I'll probably prepare 1 of these or 2 of these as well to go with a banana and 1 or 2 kiwi. So that'll be a nice healthy breakfast tomorrow. And we've got 2 amazing punnets of raspberries. So there might be a raspberry dessert. I already know that I'm going to go over slightly. I think I will be making a jelly with at least 1 of these packs, because I have half a Polish jelly, a nectarine one, so you're talking like a peach melba sort of thing. And the others we might have as a little bit of a trifle-y thing with whatever we've got, maybe a bit of custard, a bit of yoghurt. And then we have 1 of these lovely Warburton's toasties, and these don't have folic acid added, that nasty chemical. So this is a tremendous and another really healthy bunch of food. And you're probably again talking the best part of probably £12–15, I would have thought. So I'm very, very happy with this. I can do quite a lot with this. And we certainly won't starve. We've got potatoes, we've got the never-ending broth, and we've got some vegetables. So we'll be okay. We might get a vegetable bake out of some of this as well. So I will see you all, as will Dan, for day 24 tomorrow. And let's see what culinary delights that brings.
Right, let's give this a go. This was nice and healthy after the morning swim.
Yes, I thought you might like that.
Yeah.
I thought what I might do with the rest of the raspberries and some of the nectarines is make a sort of peach Melba jam base, you know, without sugar, and then just put it in the freezer. So at some point when we need jam, I can just get it out and make jam. What do you reckon?
That sounds a very good idea.
Because the raspberries are very ripe and they're not going to hang around very long. They need using, and we can't eat two punnets that quickly. So that's what I thought I'd do. What do you reckon?
I think that's great.
Yeah, so that's what I'll do with them. And some of the nectarines, because we've got a huge pile of them. And then you've got the natural full-fat Greek yoghurt with chia seeds.
Hooray.
So it is, hooray indeed. It is really healthy. Ultimate health.
And a few nuts.
6 almonds a day sets you up.
It's lovely.
I hope that sets you up for a morning of decorating.
It does.
Oh, happy
Very nice,
days.
thank you.
I love raspberries. I do like banana as well. And I have a bit of kiwi. The other 2 kiwi aren't as soft. I use the ripest one. A few nuts. And a spoon or 2 of the natural yoghurt. Chia seeds, if you're on a gluten-free diet, makes a really good and natural alternative to xanthan gum, which of course is processed chemicals. And that looks nice. Let's see whether I approve of my culinary skill. It's tangy. It's yummy. I don't like low-fat yoghurt unless I'm using it as a mayonnaise type dressing, because it's a bit chalky. But it's all right in a dressing, like a low-fat coleslaw. But in that case, I'd rather use something like quark or even creme fraiche. The Farge is the only decent, very low-fat yoghurt. But it's not cheap. Well, today is day 24. And Dan's doing some decorating, and I'm going off to the Emporium. Dan's come back from his swim. The cats are in. It's cold. It's damp. It's gloomy. Just another typical weekend in sunny Thanet. For lunch, I'm doing an egg mayo sandwich and a tomato sandwich, which we'll share with a bit of salad. I'm doing some potatoes to go with the broth tonight, just to pad it out a bit more. We'll be living off broth for the next 2 to 3 days. I can't, at this stage, balance the books. I'm still in credit at the moment, but I know I'm not going to be. But hopefully it won't be a case too much of Rachel Thieves, and there'll be something at least at the end of the week for the last 2 days of the budget. So I'll see you later.
It's should be at a royal garden party or somewhere posh, you know. It's very nice. They've got egg, they've got tomato.
Yes.
Cream.
It would have been tomato and cream cheese, but I've had to toss the cream cheese away. It's gone mouldy.
Oh.
And then the other is egg
Egg.
with a little bit of sour cream and some white pepper.
Excuse my appearance, I have been decorating.
You have indeed. Is that all right? Will that set you up?
That would be lovely.
And we've got some homegrown beetroot and lettuce from the Too Good To Go and the homemade kimchi.
Lovely.
So tuck in, babe. Well, if I say so myself, I've done quite a good job with this, with basic ingredients. I cracked open a jar of my homemade pickled beetroot. We've got the homemade kimchi, and then just bits what we had from the Too Good To Go, and half of the second avocado that I bought in week 3. We're doing okay. I'm making a raspberry jelly for dessert tonight. That's just gonna blot out what bit of the budget we had left. I might have used a few porridge oats for Cranachan, but I couldn't reach them from the cupboard and Dan was busy, so I thought, you know what, to hell with it. So we're having the rest of the peach jelly. It's been in the store cupboard a few weeks and it needs using. It's a powdered one. And I'm making a batch of celery soup with one of the bags of celery. So it's a very soupy week, I think. And I'm also cooking up the rest of the raspberries before they go off with some more of the nectarines. That'll be a jam base. I'll put it in the freezer, so when we need some jam, I'll just get it out of the freezer and do the lemon juice and the sugar, and I'll make a pot. I'm going to tuck in now because we're going to Spirituous Church within about an hour or so. We're on meagre rations, folks, but there was this jar of wild boar pate in our food hamper, so some of this will be Dan's lunch tomorrow with his salad and his celery soup, a couple of slices of white bread spread with that lovely jobley. Try that big old bowlful.
This looks lovely. It's really nice.
Is that all right?
That's perfect. Keep me going.
Excellent. Well, folks, the vino was a gift, by the way, at Christmas. And as it's Burns night, and we have no haggis or anything else, Dan's got his chicken broth with some taters and a glass of wine. It's not full up to the top with wine. He's put water in it as well.
Yeah, it's watered it down.
So cheers, folks. Cheers. It's been a busy day, one thing or another. We're going to be eating broth for most of the week probably, or at least part of it, and maybe egg and chips. I'm right down to the wire. I'm down to the last 3 pence. And that's without counting the last bit of cheese or the last bit of butter. So we won't have much to spend on Friday for the 2 days, Friday and Saturday. Although hopefully we'll have something. So this is as basic as it gets, folks. And I guess the broth, if it's thick again, it will get watered down a bit more and a bit more seasoning added to it, and maybe the odd carrot or 2 added to it. And on that note, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow on day 25 of this challenge, and bid each and every one of you, especially if you're of Scottish heritage, a wonderful Burns night. Well, hello everybody and welcome to day 25. We don't have long now on this challenge, yay! I don't think I'll be sorry to see it over. I've been quite busy this morning. I had some fruit and yoghurt with chia seeds, one of those nectarines. There was 4 that didn't need using very quickly. And I've done some prep, wearing my back brace, and now I'm going to do some sewing. I should have cracked on with the curtains for the kitchen and also the linings for the new bedroom curtains this past week, but I've been busy with one thing or another, and or tired or bad back, or maybe a combination of all 3. But it's high time I did that, so that's what I'm going to be doing now. So I'll catch you later. Well, it's getting on a bit now. It's nearly 2 p.m. and only now I'm just getting my lunch. I have some of the baby jam lettuce, which we're still working through, and some homemade beetroot and kimchi. Very delicious it is too. I've had a very busy morning. I've got quite a few aches and pains today. It's quite cold and damp. I put some of those semi-dried tomatoes from the jar on top of my makeshift pizza. It's more like a cheese on toast, really. I want to try and use up the little bit of cheese that we have left before that goes mouldy like the cream cheese. I'm going to write the cream cheese off. The thing with cheese on toast is that you don't need to butter your bread, so you're saving on butter. And here is some of the yummy celery soup. I've made it thick or concentrated, we like to call it that. But I wanted to add some cold stock to the broth, so I thought I'd add some to the celery soup as well. I also pepped up the seasoning a little. It is very tasty and so warming on a winter's day. We're doing okay. Not a very varied diet now. We haven't felt too deprived. I'm very glad though that we've had store cupboard essentials and the free food items and stuff from the freezer to fall back on. And this really is the importance of prepping the pantry, because none of us know when we're going to be unable to either afford to buy or unable to get food, certainly with the way the world is. So it helps to have some knowledge about prepping and preparedness. The main downside, or one of the main downsides, has been the huge amount of food prep. I mean, obviously, if I was in the position where I could go to the fishmonger or the butcher and buy something like mince or a nice piece of fish, I'd be doing maybe 1 or 2 or even more meals out of it and then freezing them for future use. I haven't really had the luxury of buying any fresh meat or fish. So that's really one of the main downsides of doing this challenge. And the other one, of course, is fighting the terrific price of everything these days. Just a couple of thoughts, really. It's been a useful exercise, I would say, so far anyway. Well, here you are, babe. Try this. Let me know what you think. You'll definitely need a spoon. We've managed to get through another day. Tomorrow night we've got more broth. I'll jazz it up. I might add some lentils tomorrow and I'll do a jacket potato. And then we might have a night off on Wednesday and have egg and chips. And then Thursday, whatever's left, I might either do a few dumplings or make it into a curry. But we're doing all right. We're not doing too bad. I've had a busy day today. I've been doing Dan a nice salad to take to work tomorrow, crunchy salad. He had a little bit left from today, so I've just mixed the new in with today's. And I'll add a bit of beetroot and kimchi as well to it. And he's got another wild boar sandwich and some more of the celery soup. So on that note, I will bid you good evening. I'm sorry there's not been much filming today, but I've not really been in the mood for it. I'll see you tomorrow for day 26. So have a good evening and bye for now. Well, everybody, welcome to day 26. We're nearly there. I have for breakfast some yoghurt with chia seeds and a nectarine. I mean, those nectarines are not the best. They've gone a little bit mealy, but they're all right once they hit the yoghurt or once they're used in jam or compote, that sort of thing. And I've got a few almonds as well for extra protein. And I've got my lemon water. So it's a very healthy breakfast today. I think we've done really well under the circumstances. I really do. It's not been easy, especially with all the rising prices. It's dull, gloomy, rainy. I feel like having a cosy day today. I don't need to go out particularly. As long as I put some money in my number 2 account, which is what I use for my little bit of crafts, the PLE rent and that sort of thing, I'll be okay. I have to pay my national insurance at the weekend. So the bank account is a little bit depleted and the rent's due on Friday on my pitch, so I need to put a bit of money in at some point before Thursday evening. I've only just got enough to cover it. I like to have more of a cushion. Anyway, I'm going to probably cook up a few red lentils just to add to the broth, to bulk it out really, so it does another 2 meals. The plan is to maybe have broth tonight with a jacket potato and the added lentils, And then tomorrow we'll have a night off all that and have egg and chips. I'll probably make a few more chips than I made last week because I'm not going to do beans with it. If we've got enough eggs, I might do 2 eggs each. But certainly 2 for Dan anyway. And then Thursday, I'll make whatever is left of the broth into some kind of a curry. We might have rice. A small portion of rice anyway, probably the jasmine rice. So I'm going to have a day just doing a few simple chores. I need to do some ironing. And I'll probably do a bit of paperwork, that sort of thing. And I'll see you back at lunchtime. Had a busy morning. My back's not great today, it's very damp outside. I'm aching. This sandwich is yummy. Egg mayo. I've just given the cat some catnip, which is what you can hear. Miss Robin, who wears a tracker, is rolling around on the kitchen floor. Cosmic Kitty. I've been looking forward to lunch for the last hour. I'm doing video editing at the moment. So far it's going okay. I need to rest my back though this afternoon as usual. I didn't fancy kimchi today, so I've just got beetroot, haven't I, Merlin? I've got Merlin with me. You can just see his ear in the corner. He's up to egg yolk, he really likes it, don't you, boy? We're 7p in deficit because I used 10p worth of red lentils today. But I don't think that's much in the bigger scheme of things. I'll see you later. I'm going to make a fuss in the meantime with my fur babies. Dan's supper looks a bit runny, but hopefully it'll fill him up. We're going to have banana and custard for dessert. He needs a spoon, but he says he's already got one. Slim pickings, folks.
Let's give this a go. Let's give it a go. Try the gravy first.
I hope it's all right for you.
Lovely.
I'll put some more chicken stock cube in there for
Tastes
you.
really nice. Let's try the spud.
Is that all right?
That's great, thanks. Lovely.
Well, so end of day 26. I've got some banana and custard. Dan made the custard. It's a little thick. I think he made it mainly with water. He probably used too much custard powder. It'll do. We don't have long now, folks. 4 days and then it's all over. Can't say I'll be sorry. It'll be good to get some really good, decent grub inside us. It's very difficult, but this exercise is so important because, of course, what not everybody realises is that the farmers have been busy doing blockades and supermarket depots have been shut down. This has been going on. It's not been reported much in the mainstream media. And then there's the threat of war. Honestly, anything could happen at any time. I'm not going to worry about that today though. I'm just showing you what you can do in order to feed yourself and your family when things get really tough. I'm going to enjoy this now and I will see you tomorrow for day 27. Welcome to day 27. We've got today and another 3 days left of this challenge. We're over budget by a few pence, so we're not doing too bad. I'm in my back brace and I'm peeling some potatoes. I'm going to part boil them for chips later. And I'm going to do some ironing as well. I'm having a better day today. Yesterday was very damp. I was in quite a bit of pain. For breakfast, as you've seen, I've had an apple and a latte. There's not much else, folks. I didn't want bread because I'm having a sandwich at lunchtime. And that's my ration. I really need to bring the bread down, unless it's ancient grain, which may not be quite so bad. So my thoughts are, how on earth did people manage during the war? I suppose they just got on with it. It was recommended for people to have at least a pound of potatoes each every day. And they had the national loaf, of course, with wholemeal flour. The white flour came after the war was over. Most people did some digging for victory. It's more difficult, of course, in the winter. A lot of ground was given over to allotments, and if you had any room in your garden, even on top of your shelter, you would be growing things. And I think there was more of a community spirit back then. We don't have that so much these days, although I can see something of a revival. Certainly over the last year or so. Anyway, I'm going to crack on now with making the chips, but before I go, I did get another freebie out of our pantry. this lovely cake is part of our food hamper. My friend Val's here. It's by Cartwright and Butler, so it's a very, very fancy la-di-da cake indeed. And we're both going to have a slice of this with our tea or coffee. I might have a green tea this morning if we've got any, but I think we might have used all those tea bags up. So I think I'm onto the nettle now. Anyway, whatever I have, it'll be very nice with this. So I'll catch you later. Well, I have another lovely lunch today. Although it's very basic, there it is, peanut butter. Well, we're running out of food, you see, so when needs must. It's very tasty though. Still got a little bit of salad, not much. The Cartwright and Butler cake was delicious. Loads of fruit, loads of nuts, not that much flour. Absolutely awesome. So a slice of that would make a good pudding. Or if there's no lunch, that's what I'll be having. I'm going to finish this off quickly and go upstairs to my office and do some paperwork. So I'll catch you later. I'm making a lovely little tortilla for Dan to take to work tomorrow with him. We're having tortilla and chips for supper. So what I've done is I've weighed out 100 grams of sweet corn to go with it, just to bulk out the meal a little. Look at that. I think Dan will really enjoy that. Chopped carrot and there's lettuce, tomato and some celery. But I'm not finished yet. I'm going to jazz it up with 2 other bits and pieces. I'm going to add some of this extra virgin olive oil from these lovely sun-dried tomatoes, which are nearly finished now. That looks good. I'm going to add some of this kimchi. Dan loves my kimchi. I usually just leave it on top and he can mix it in himself. And then some of the lovely beetroot. I love beetroot, so helpful. To cut that piece in half. And this time I'm going to add a few seeds just to the top. They will soften overnight. These pumpkin seeds, linseed, sunflower seeds. So there we go, doesn't that look good? And I've got this lovely tortilla or frittata, whichever you like to call it. So there's a bit of potato cooked. It's rosemary and some of the semi-dried tomatoes, 2 eggs, salt and pepper. There we go. That looks lovely. Look at that. Our sweet corn allowance in there. So this is quite nutritious and it should help to keep him going through the day. He's also got some bone broth. I'll probably do him a nice slice of bread with some of that wild boar pate. Yes folks, that's still going. Dan has the air fryer going. That's got our chips in. It's next to my wax pan. I do my candles in here. It's the utility room. Dan did the chips in the air fryer. They're not very brown, but they are cooked. And this is sweet corn. And then some of this lovely tortilla. Dan's going swimming tonight, so it's not a massive meal. If he wants anything else, he'll probably have a piece of fruit cake or something when he gets home. That fruit cake will keep him going until the morning because it's full of fruit and nuts. So there we go, give this a go.
Let's see what these chips are like.
Did you do a good job of them?
I think so, yeah, they're well nicely fried. Let's try some of the omelette.
I used the last bit of the cheese, including the hard bits.
Really nice.
I rescued it from going mouldy. Is that good?
Yeah.
Will it keep you going until you've been
that'll
swimming?
That'll keep me going, yeah.
Oh,
I'll
excellent.
be walking down to the pool, so that's a bit more exercise.
I'm looking forward to this. I haven't been eating in between meals. Tomorrow's breakfast might be fruitcake. We're really on very meagre rations now, folks, really. We do have stuff in the freezer, but I don't have the budget to use it. Obviously, under emergency situations, we would be eating all the tins and all the stuff in the freezer. But this challenge is about spending just £20 a week. But I'm pleased with the way supper's turned out, even though it's very basic. There's protein in the 2 eggs and milk and the cheese. The sweet corn is a very welcome extra. The chips are okay. They're not greasy. It's nothing like what you'd have from a chippy. They're a lot more calorific, so we're doing okay. I put a little bit of rosemary and thyme in the omelette. We'll get through. Friday, that's the next 36 hours or so, we will be on the new budget, which is only a portion of what we would normally allow for the week, and that will help me decide what we're going to have on Friday and on Saturday, which is the last day of the challenge. So I'm going to enjoy this now with my boy, and I'll see you tomorrow for day 28. Welcome to day 28. It's lunchtime. I'm having that other half tin of tomatoes, which is 33 pence. You'll recall the first half I charged out at 34p. This time I'm charging out at 33p because the can was 66.6 pence. It's very nice. I do really like this brand of tomatoes, although it's not really the type to have for lunch with toast. It's a bit more suited to stews and sauces and things of that nature because it is finely chopped. Very delicious though. This morning I just had a piece of toast. Had a quick breakfast with Dan. Slice of toast, Marmite, nettle tea. I've got some more nettle tea. I've had quite a busy morning. Although not too much time on my feet, I've been doing some video editing. I've been prepping a carrot and coriander soup for tomorrow. I'm thinking about what I'm going to prepare for the last 2 days of this challenge. It's another cold and dreary day. The larder is much depleted. Once this challenge is over, Dan and I will be going to get some tins and some more groceries. We've certainly had to go without more protein than we would like. Although I've tried to make up for it in other ways, with lentils and beans, chickpeas. We've not done too badly with eggs, but were it not for the items in the fridge and a few things from the freezer and the store cupboard, it would be very meagre indeed. Anyway, I'm going to eat this now and do up a couple of reckonings for the rest of the butter and the cheese, so tomorrow I can give you a full picture of where exactly we are. Of course, any deficit, because we're in the red, will be subtracted from the amount we have to spend over the next couple of days. So I'll catch you later. Well, I've decided that we need our hearty supper. Dan will be back from his day about 7 p.m. and he's got a cold, bless him. Hopefully it won't get into a really bad chest or anything like that, because there's a lot of bad lurgy going around. He came back from swimming last night with a bottle of brandy, just a half bottle of Napoleon brandy from the garage. Of course, that's not come out of our budget. He might have got some orange juice as well, but he couldn't find any. Anyway, I've decided that with the last of the broth, tonight's the last night I can eke it out. So we've done pretty well. We've been eating it since Sunday. But I will do a few dumplings. So I will show you how I do those. I have vegetable suet. You can use butter if you prefer, but I haven't got any more butter allowance. It's all gone. Or you can use dripping if you like. Or beef fat, the proper raw stuff of beef or steak. And you have half quantity to that of flour. We don't need many dumplings because there's not a huge amount of the broth left. So I'll probably make 4 or 6. So let's get started. I'm adding 50 grams of gluten-free self-raising flour to a mixing bowl. The gluten-free flour costs about £2. If you only have all-purpose flour, You need half a teaspoon of baking powder and make sure you sieve it all together. I want 25 grams of vegetable suet. Then I'm going to eyeball about half a teaspoon of dried herbs. You can use fresh if you like. Mix the herbs in. And then I'm going to add a drop of cold water. I tend to use ice cold water. I use a tiny bit at a time. I eyeball everything. Great, that should be enough. And then you want to bring it all together with your hands. I'm using this little green plate. I'm going to break off some pieces and roll them around in the flour like that. That's perfect, it holds together. It'll make 5. So that's what you want. There we go, that's going in the oven. Doesn't that look good? This is Dan's salad for tomorrow. He's leaving the house super early, before 7 a.m. He's catching the 7:05 to London. So I've done him this salad with just what we've got left. So there's a couple of tomatoes, some of my kimchi, the last of the lettuce, and a stick or 2 of celery. This is it, folks. We're right down to the wire now. Whoa, look at that. They're fluffy dumplings. There you go, Dan. See how you get on with
lovely.
that.
That's gorgeous comfort food.
Well, your dumplings nice. This is the last of the broth.
Lovely dumplings.
Well, that's lasted loads of meals. You know, it's been served up in different guises all week. And then afterwards you can have a piece of the Cartwright and Butler fruit cake. That should keep you going because it's full of nuts.
Oh, yeah.
Tuck in, babe. Well, this is the end of day 28. Tomorrow is day 29. We're starting a 5th week and then ending it on Saturday. So we've got 2 days of a 5th week. And tomorrow we shall be looking at our reckonings. I already know how much we have to spend, but I'll leave it in suspense till tomorrow. So good evening and enjoy it, whatever you do.